To drive traffic from different location. Now previously I've gotten lots of remark and most people say the videos are very long, so I'll make it really very short. But please do understand that driving bot traffic is very lucrative. There's so much money you can make from driving streams, page views, impression, ads click. But I want you to also understand that if you don't do it right, you could end up losing your account. So majority of the times, I do not rush into making my videos because I wouldn't want somebody to say, "Why didn't you tell me this and why didn't you tell me that?" I assume every single thing that has to be told should be told, so people can understand how best to do this thing and make money without making issues. So that being said, let's get back to tutorials. I'm going to proceed into logging into my OkecBot account. I'll put in my own API key over here and the whole bot state will start being downloaded. One of the questions I got asked on the last YouTube video I uploaded was, how does OkecBot get to manage the bot states? Now basically what happens is each time a browser opens and the browser does anything, it takes a real-time backup and sends it to OkecBot. So this means whenever you open up a website or whenever you do anything at all, as long as you're using that browser, OkecBot saves a backup of the bot state to the database. So this makes it possible that whenever you log in again and whenever you come back again, the same details you had the previous time are all safeguarded. For instance, I'm going to show you the bot we had created last time. As of this morning, if I'm not mistaken, we created a couple of bots. To open up those bots, I will click on manage bots. When I click on manage bots, I will go to the bot family. We called those bots we had created this morning YouTube comments, and I will try to open at least two of them just to show people who were able to follow up that every single thing, including the email addresses we logged in, they're perfectly being saved, they're backed up, they're here. So it's just like having so many browsers, just that this time around, every single thing you do with the browsers are always backed up on OkecBot. So I'm going to head over to google.com on this first account. You can see it's logged in. This is it being logged into Google. I'm going to head over to google.com on this other one. You would also see it's logged in. So what this simply means is that when you use OkecBots, every single thing you do on these bots are being backed up. Now this is a very good feature because it helps us to always come back as returning users. Practically, it helps makes this whole device look legit. But this is not what I wanted to teach you. I just wanted to answer that question about how OkecBot is able to back up all the data. Yes, in real time, we save every single bot state and activity you do, every interaction you do, just to make sure this whole thing is 100% undetectable from bot detection systems like Google. Now, back to it. So in order to drive traffic from different location, I want you to understand that you can't do that from the OkecBot app itself. Let me explain. Each time you create OkecBots or each time you open up OkecBots, it opens up something like this for you, which is where you put in your API key. But the moment you put in your API key and you're logged in, what I want you to do is to just minimize the app. Yes, minimize the app. That's because if you want to be driving traffic from different location, you don't have to do it from the OkecBot app itself. No, you have to do it from a web browser. Let me explain. Now I've minimized the OkecBot app. All I have to do is to open up any browser of my choice. If you have Google Chrome, you can open Google Chrome. But for me, I'll be using the Brave browser. Now, the moment you open up your Brave browser or Google Chrome browser, whichever, I want you to go to this particular link on the screen. The link is called local hosts. And after typing local hosts, put a colon and type 3000. Now, practically, what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is once you open OkecBot and you put in your API key, minimize the app. Don't close, don't exit, just minimize. Now, OkecBot opens a port called port 3000. So if you head over to your Google Chrome and you type localhost with a colon port 3000, it will open up OkecBot for you. Now, what you should do is to open up as many tabs as possible, signifying as many locations as possible you want to be coming in from. Let's assume I want to come in from 4 locations. This is location 1, I'll open up another tab and say type localhost 3000. This is location 2. I will come here, say type localhost 3000. This is location 3. Come here, localhost 3000. This is location 4. I can do this for as many locations as possible. But I guess you're confused right now. You're practically just looking at me, open different tabs, and all I'm doing in these different tabs is to open localhost 3000. Now, what I'm trying to let you understand is that I've opened that 4 interfaces of OkecBot. This simply means that on this tab 1, I could, for instance, head over to launcher mode. On the launcher mode, I'll click on free random executor. And now I'm on this free random executor. I'm practically here on this first tab. I can decide to change this default location to UK. Now this tab will now be UK. This means that any traffic that comes from here is to come from the UK proxy. I can go to this tab too, open up here again, click on launcher mode, click on free random executor, and where it says default location again, I can change this from default location to another location like Los Angeles. Now since we're talking about free, I will just open 3 locations, because when you're on free mode you can open only 3 locations, but if you're on pro mode you can have as many locations as possible. So I'll head back again, I'll click on free random executor, and then I'll choose in another location. So for this one, for instance, I can choose in another location, like let's say any location I get to see that I like over here. It's taking some time to load, so I'm going to refresh the page and try again. I just refreshed the page. Now I will try to switch the network. I'm kind of suspecting maybe I'm having issues with the auto network, so let me switch over to this network, then I would refresh again. Beautiful. So right now I have this third location, and I can come here and say maybe Chicago. Now what this means is that I have 3 tabs. The first tab is UK, the second tab is Los Angeles, and the third tab is Chicago. Now each of these tabs has a different location, and I can set all of them to be executing a particular task. Remember on OkecBot, once you open up this executor, you have the first 3 sections. The first thing here is the task you want to execute. For instance, this is called an executable. If I click on it, I would see all the tasks I've created in the past. If you watched the episode 1 of this video, you already know what a task is, because we created a task on episode 1. Now, if you check to this other section, this is what we call bots family. So if you have watched previous episode, you will see us create list of bots. We created lots of bots, lots of iPhones, lots of Android, and these bots were all saved with a name called a bot family name. Now every single thing you see here is simply a bot family. Now the moment you choose a particular bot family, it will show you the amount of bot inside of it. For instance, INVNY, which stands for IMV New York, has 15 iPhone, 15 Android, no Windows and no Mac. If I choose this now to Estate Lawn, you can see 15 iPhone, 15 Androids, no Mac. Now if I change this to, let's say for instance, YouTube comment, the one I created yesterday or this morning, you can see we had 3 iPhones and 4 Android. Now this simply means that each time I choose, these particular bot families, it shows me all the bots inside these bot families. Now what I want you to understand is that now you're seeing all these bots, for instance 20 iPhones, 20 Android, 5 Windows, 5 Mac. Now every single one of these devices on this particular bot family, each time they visit your website, each time they interact with your website, whatever they do, all their cookies are being backed with OkecBot. So unlike other bots that would just give you, random traffic that doesn't make sense, that will get you banned, on OkecBot, as each and every single one of these bots opens your website, they will do this with a cookie. However, if you're using this free launcher, the free launcher comes without a cookie. So you can see it right here. It says there is no bot state management. But now, since this tutorial was all about how to drive traffic from different locations, now you might not necessarily need cookie, but if you can afford it, please go for a pro plan. Now, a pro plan is something like the ones you get to pay for, which is the ones like the pro random executor or the pro orderly executor. But since you want to be doing this for free, I mean, you can actually test this for free. Now, at this point in time, what you need to do is to start setting your location. We already set location here for UK, we set location here for Los Angeles, and this default location on the third one, we can change it from the default location to something like Netherlands. Now we have 3 locations set. The next thing is to set the activities we want to execute. Let's say, for instance, this is the activity I would want to be executing. I can decide to have all of them execute the same activity. I could also decide that while some are executing a particular activity, some other ones should be executing another activity. Now, on each activity or on each executable, I can have series of tasks that would still involve visiting my website, but in a different way. For instance, this executable called Amara could maybe make a Google search for something I rank on and click on it to land to my website. While this other one could just be going straight to my website to click on ads, while this other one could be going through my website but not clicking on ads, but just generally generating impressions. So basically, I could have different settings for each particular tab and come from different location. Now, not just this, I could also have different bots, you know, launching different things at the same time. So, for instance, I have IV Chicago. This means that I can use Chicago for this IV Chicago. That means it's going to be coming in from Chicago and it will be executing, let's say, at click. I can still create another tab again and still do the same thing on localhost 3000. And this time around, I could decide right now to still use IV Chicago. I could still use IV Chicago from the Chicago location, but instead of launching up this art click, they could be launching up something else. Now, the best part of this is that it will still be from this bot family executing on the task, but when one bot is performing on that task, another place cannot call it except it's done. That means you could have so many tasks like visit email address, open website, make Google search. You can have lots of tasks being executed. All you need to do is to open as many Google Chrome tab as possible, select the location, select the bot you want to be executing these things, select the things you want them to be executing, and put in how you want it to be. For instance, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Now, if you want me to show you how to do this in real time by setting up proxy servers from the beginning down to the end, I would use US, I would use Canada, I would use UK. I will use a fresh Google AdSense account that has not seen any reasonable money before, and I will drive traffic until that account makes up to like $10 a day. If you want to see this real life display of OkecBot with the free one, I'm not talking about the paid one, I'm talking about the free. If you want to see me drive and make $10 a day with this free section, do comment I am interested, just the way I did this part 2. If you comment I'm interested and I see lots of comments, I will make a part 3 teaching you how to make $10 for free of charge using OkecBot by driving lots of traffic from different locations.